Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Raw Approach. I am Dr. Woods, and you are in the house with me on today. We're going to do a little pivoting on today. First, I want to start out with an inspirational insight. I want to talk about, you ready? I want to talk about stepping outside of the box. Stepping outside of the box. Let me ask you, why do so many people find it difficult to step outside the box? Think about it. Aren't you glad that there are many examples for us to go by in order to step outside the box? I give you a plant. Anybody knows anything about planting, growing a plant, growing flowers, or anything of that sort, you know that a plant wants to grow to be out of that small container. Now let me back up a minute. What does it mean to be inside a box? Being in a box means that you are confined to specific parameters. That means that you cannot go, grow, move, or anything else once you have filled that space, you have filled that box. There's no movement for you. But what I like about a plant is a plant has to be moved from one small flower pot to a bigger flower pot. The catch is that with that plant, as that plant grows, that plant continues to need a bigger pot. The plant needs nutrients. It needs sun, water. It needs space in order to grow, to become bigger and better. So let me ask you, if a plant can continue to grow, sprout bigger roots, have broader foliage, and that plant needs to continue to have a bigger pot in order for it to be nurtured and continue to progress, what is the challenge for you on today? What hinders you from continuing to grow? Why is it okay for someone to keep you in the box? I'm about to throw something at you you're not going to be ready for. Why is it okay for you to keep yourself in the box? You didn't see that one coming, but it's true. My challenge to the audience on today, even if it doesn't apply to you, make it apply to you so you can continue to grow. Step outside that box. Step outside of what someone has identified where you should be. As long as you are in that box, they win. Why you always got to be the one to be uncomfortable? Let them be uncomfortable sometimes. Know what I mean? Because one thing I know is as we continue to grow and we continue to go up different levels, there's new levels of devils. But that's okay. I'd rather have a new level of devil that I have to deal with than that same stagnant one, because he gets bored with me because I'm not moving. My inspirational insight to you as I close on that piece is step outside of the box. Find success for yourself. Don't let nobody else identify your level of success. Success is different from each and every one of us. Be successful in finding success. Be successful in stepping outside the box. You heard me. That's my inspirational insight at that moment and at that time. All right, let's get ready to move on. I hope everybody's doing well on today. Welcome to another Wednesday of the R.A.W Approach with Dr. Woods live. It's another day, y'all. Tomorrow is spring. I hope you have done some springing in your life on today. I hope you have washed away and got all the old layers of the past, of the winter mindset, and bring yourself into the spring season to get ready to go on a whole another level. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's make this thing do what it do. Welcome to the R.A.W Approach. Y'all know, no matter what we do in life, sometimes you have a plan and that plan gets changed. Things happen. People get sick. No matter what it is, you got to move, you got to pivot, and you got to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Let's be ready to keep it going. All right. At this moment, let's talk about good to great. And I'll tell you why this is an interest to me on today. I always talk about going from good to great. And I enjoy when I see people read the book by Jay Collins, or they step out and they identify good for great for themselves. You have to have the mindset good has never done anything great. And you have to prepare yourself to go from great to excellent. I like that. Thank you, Dr. Cochran, for that second part of that. Good to great. I've been at a facility doing an audit, and there I was talking to a CEO, and it was good and refreshing to speak with somebody and that had a plan. And the young man was telling me, he said, Dr. Woods, I've been knowing about you. I've been watching your show and your content, and that what got me into reading Good to Great. And he said, I use a lot of that in order to learn and to go further with Good to Great. Now, he told me one of the things that he liked best in the book that I always talk about, and this is when it becomes refreshing. He said, there's two things that caught his eye in the book is talk about cutting the fat off and moving to a new level. That's number one. Number two, he talked about the organization of the young MBA that was running his family business after he got done and had to curtail the family and put them in different positions in order for them to go from good to great. What I need you to know today, and I talked with somebody on today also, earlier this week, and we spoke about making those tough decisions in an organization in order for your organization to grow. And both of these people talked about how one of the most difficult decisions that they had to make became one of the best decisions that they had to make. And that is they had to fire their family member because they just was not being as productive as they need to be. And the bad part about it, it almost appeared that they was becoming a hindrance and feeling like that they always needed something else extra than what they're already been designed. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying family can't be good employees. I'm just using as an example of an approach that was taken in the book talking about going from good to great in order for them to go to another level. And it's okay. Prepare yourself to go to another level. There are going to be times you might even have a friend that has been working with you for a moment, and you might have to let them go. It's okay. You might have an employee that has been A1 employee for you, and you might have to let them go. Let me tell you one of the biggest things that we had to talk about on today. You ain't going to be ready. What we had to talk about is, what do you do when you have an employee that has maximized their time, what they can no longer offer? What do you do when you have newer employees that has fresh ideas and has that fire in their belly to grow? I'm going to let you think about that. What would you do? Respond to me. Tell me what you do in that situation. Something to think about. Well, in that situation that we talked about, as I spoke with their CEO and provided him some guidance, I explained to him that this is a situation that you have an executive leadership team, and you use the executive leadership team for your benefit. If you can find what you think that this person can benefit from, then continue to use them. There's nothing wrong with putting people in new positions, because what I found out is that changing a position does not mean that you are letting them down, nor does that mean that that position is a bad position for them. There comes a time that you got to maximize the opportunity. You can maximize the opportunity because you can use experience and you can use the determination of that person and help make another part of your program stronger. So we went through and talked about some things, and he said, you know what, Dr. Woods, I think I got the right position. So we sat down, we talked, and came up with a strategy. And that was supposed to happen after I left today. And they had that conversation. And surprisingly, this employee was excited about the move. See, sometimes when you think that you're doing something, if you are in the right spirit to help someone to move to another level, they might be ready to move to that next level. While all this time you thinking that it's going to be a smack in the face or a hurt, that's going to hurt them, sometimes it becomes a benefit, and it allows them to continue to grow in another level, in another position, in another opportunity. We have to be able to prepare ourselves move to other opportunities as well. If you don't think so, stay in that same position that you in for all this time and see if you get tired of not growing. Remember, we just sitting there talking about that box. You've been in that box. We're talking about that plant, been in that box. You have to get tired of being in that box. And obviously, the employee was tired of being in that box. I'm just saying. Let's talk about identifying your faults. Identifying your faults. Have you ever been in a situation where you done something and you know it was your bad and you didn't want to say it's your bad, my fault? If you have been in that situation as a leader, as a person, as someone that somebody looks up to, and you was too macho, or you was too determined that you was bigger than that, and you couldn't say, my bad, my fault, how do you expect the people in the organization that's following you to feel? Do you expect them to say they bad, my fault, when they see you make mistakes all the time and you can't own up to it? I'm just giving you another example of how you can grow, how you can show growth, how you can set the example of growth, and how you can give somebody that tool, that food, that resource to know it's okay. You say, my bad, my fault. Just learn from an experience. What I learned is that we cannot get into the state where we are too good to learn from our own faults. We can't get into the state to be able to prepare ourselves for another level because we are in our own way. Every time we have these conversations, and when I listen to other business owners, I listen to other entrepreneurs, I listen to other organizational leaders and managers and supervisors, employees, and they talk about, man, I really don't deal with them because I see them make all these type of foolish errors and they talk to people in an inappropriate, mean way or in a way that's not professional. Y'all, there comes a time, we all know that when you in key position, it comes with stress. And that stress, sometimes if you don't know how to take it in the right term, it can cause you to respond in the wrong direction. Own up to it. Make the right decision. What did Michael Jackson say? Make a change. I wanted to sing that right quick, but I know if I start singing, y'all be mad. Make that change. I crack myself up. Yeah, I do. Let me ask you this. Kind of that rock band in the background. Let's talk about steps for improvement. Steps for improvement. Do you know what steps to put in place when you need to make improvements? What steps do you identify that needs to help to make an improvement on you, yourself, the I, the me? What steps do you need to do to make improvements? Hey, guess what? I'm not going to give you that answer on the day. That's your homework. Identify what steps you need to make improvements on you as you get ready for another week. Find that out. Last but not least, I always want to continue to talk about the R.A.W approach. Let me see here. Okay. Somebody just stated acknowledgement. When you say acknowledgement, are you saying that in the state of what facet are you using acknowledgement? Respond. Okay, I like that. She said the acknowledgement is the step to resolving an issue or a problem. I agree. I agree. He said that's the first step. Hey. They tell you that through 12-step programs, any other type of issues that you may have in order to find a resolution for yourself. You got to acknowledge. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So as we go into the acronym for the R.A.W approach, and I always like to use these in order to, because the R.A.W approach as a whole is a movement. It is a movement to teach organizational leaders how to treat employees better, how to listen to them, to be in tune with them, and offer them the opportunity to grow in the organization. Growing in an organization does not always necessarily mean a financial move or due to another position. Growth has to do with allowing sometimes that person the opportunity to be heard. On last week, I was talking to one of my clients, and one of my clients began to explain that the best thing that they had to do, which was one of the most easiest decisions, and just don't know why they never done it, was to allow your frontline workers to be part of the process. To allow your frontline workers to be part of the process. Why does that sound to be so difficult? Your frontline workers are the one that everybody sees. Your frontline workers is the one that your customers see. Your frontline workers is the one that the community sees. Why not listen to them, take their advice, or at least use them in order to make better movements? And when I say use them, put them in the part of a board or an advisory board, as a organizational board. Put them involved in something to the point that they feel important enough to do the work day by day. The example that was given was the best thing that they ever could have done with this team was in this situation. They was dealing with youth, and they would have a treatment team meeting with the youth once a month. They noticed that the treatment team meeting wasn't as productive as it could be. So they would just have the staff, the workers, the frontline workers to just write a report and report out on the report. But only then, when he decided to bring the frontline workers who actually wrote the report involved in the treatment team meeting, then they began to see a change. The staff that was involved in the treatment team meetings began to take more pride in the work that they was doing because they felt like they was being heard. Two, the staff began to create another advisory board on their own after the approval of the CEO. Now they feel like that they have a voice, or at least that they are being heard. That's a good thing. Now, I'm going to tell you something that really shocked the treatment team as a whole. The treatment team as a whole, they was having these youth up to 110. They would do 110 youth, and from the morning to by the end of the day. They said that before, this was a very tedious task that had to be done, and it took almost 2 days to do. But once they got the frontline workers involved, frontline workers developed a process to move this swiftly, to make sure it was thoroughly done, and the kids became more supportive in their own treatment plan, to the point that they went from don't want to go to the treatment team to what I seen on today was the kids would dress up, excited to come to the treatment team. And I had to explain to them that is a good change, because the kids don't even know that while they are excited to come to treatment team, there's a lot of stuff that had changed for them. They had ownership of their treatment plan, number one. Number two, they was coming and preparing themselves to speak on their behalf. And I just told them, I said, do y'all know that these kids are preparing themselves for interviews? These are life skills that they can use when they leave their facility. And three, they understood that sometimes, even though you don't want to, even though sometimes in society, some places just accept you the way you are, that's a shame. But in this situation, they are learning that it's nothing wrong with being presentable. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. It's okay to step outside of that box. It's okay. I'm telling you, it's okay to step outside of that box. Let me leave this with you. Get yourself ready. This is my motto. This is my closing remarks for you on today. Listen up. You are never too old to set a new goal or a dream. A new dream. Let me get that to you again. You are never too old to set a new goal or to dream a new dream. I said it. You are never too old to dream or to set a goal. We see all the time people 60, 70, 80 going back to school to finish up, whether it's a high school, whether it's a college degree, or whatever. You're never too old to set a new goal or to dream a new dream. Hey, you got to get it for yourself. Allow today to be the day that you decide that you're going to make a change and make that change. You know what I'm saying? Make that change. Now, I done talked enough. I hope I done provided you with some worthy information. But let me leave this right here to you. Something else to think about. I like this clip. There comes a time when you just have to allow the knowers and the audience around you to just let them do what they do and don't let it phase you. Did you catch it? I'm not going to discuss that on the day. That's for you. Take that video that you just seen. I'm going to show it one more time. Take that video you just seen and hit me up and tell me what you get out of that. There comes a time when you just have to allow the knowers and the audience around you to just let them do what they do and don't let it phase you. Hey, that's for you. Do something with it. Hey, remember, small victories lead to greater success. I am Dr. Woods, and you have just been hit by a raw approach. Peace out. Come check us out. www.therawapproach.com